let's start with the introduction part, okay? And then we'll continue with the demo. Since we don't know each other, let's have a small round of introduction, just the name and your experience so that we understand each other. And when I have to explain few things in detail, if you're not into SAP, if you're not into success factors, I can stretch on it. Okay. So first, let me introduce myself. I'm Venu. I have around 16 years of experience into the field of HR, where I started my career as HR executive for one of the manufacturing industries, where I've learned all the areas or all the processes of HR, what a HR does in the organization. From there, I've moved into SAP, which is again IT. From the core functional, I've moved to IT part of it by learning SAP HCM configurations. I was working as a SAP HCM consultant earlier for Indian customers, and then from there I've upgraded my skills and got into SuccessFactors. Since SuccessFactors is a product of SAP HCM, so I've learned SuccessFactors, and it's been like almost 9 years that I'm into SuccessFactors. And in these 9 years, I have handled various modules in SuccessFactors like Employee Central, Compensation, PMGM, and RCM. Okay, though I've worked on all of these modules, I'm more comfortable in Employee Central and Compensation because I've spent most of my time in these two modules. Okay, so that's a quick intro about me. Okay, now I would like you people to introduce one at a time. So, do you want me to take out the names? Apurva Joshi.
Yeah, hi all. So my name is Apurva Joshi and I have around 5.6 years of experience in SAP HCM payroll. Means I'm currently working as a HCM payroll consultant.
Okay, so you're working as a payroll consultant and you're working for Indian payroll or UK or US?
No, US payroll.
US payroll. Okay, yeah, good to know that, Apurva. Thank you.
Thank you.
Harita?
Hello, my name is Harita. I did my master's MBA in HR and marketing. I was into finance. After that, I worked for 5 years there. But after that, I didn't work. I moved to USA. So now I'm, I want to, start my career again. So looking to do the SAP SuccessFactors because I want to move to HR.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Harita.
Thank you.
Kumar?
Yes, I'm Shiv Kumar. I do have around 7 years of experience as a recruiter, which includes as a domestic recruiter as well as US recruiter. Yeah, and I've been looking to migrate for SAP.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Shiv Kumar.
Thank you.
Nandu? Your voice is very low, Nandu. Can you be a bit louder or come close to the mic and speak? I hardly hear you anything, Nandu. I'm sorry.
Hello?
Yeah, much
This is Nandita
better.
here. Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
can.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So this is Nandita here. I have 11 years of experience. I'm just like you. I've started my career as HR, which was 5+ years, and then I moved on to this IT, pursuing SAP HCM from Autos, and then landed in Wipro. Start having my experience of around 6 years by now. So altogether it is 11+ years. And now I am upgrading my skill to SF in SuccessFactors. Yes.
Okay, Nandita. So you are into SAP HCM functional, right?
Yes, I am.
And what modules were you handling?
I am experienced much in time. I don't have hands-on on payroll, but I am expertise in time PAOM.
Okay, it's positive time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Nandita. There's one user with PV's iPhone, I don't know. Name?
Hi, sir. This is Lakshmi.
Yeah, hi, Lakshmi. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Sir, actually, I was worked
You
for
don't have
SAP.
to call me, sir. You can call me Venu.
Okay,
Okay.
Venu.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I have 13 plus years of experience in manufacturing sector as a HR.
Mhm.
And recently, I was worked for SAP for last 2 years.
SAP
So,
as
like,
an end user or a functional consultant?
functional, sir.
You're okay. You're working
Sorry,
as
it's
SAP.
a end user. It's end user and payroll further.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I would like to evaluate myself in SAP, and I was more interested towards SAP. This is mine.
Okay, thank you, Lakshmi.
Thank you.
Rajiv,
Myself, Rajiv. I had just completed my BTech. I'm
Mhm.
looking for a suitable course to join. So
Okay.
my sister recommended it.
To learn success factors. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Good, Rajiv. Thank you. Sandeep,
Yeah, hi Venu. This is Sarnip here. I have around 5 years of experience on success factors as an end user in ECM module and all.
mhm.
Just I want to learn
Learn
more about consulting
configuration part of it. Yeah,
configuration.
yeah. Thank you, Sandeep. Satish. So we have two Satish, Satish Kadali and Satish Rai. Satish Kadali.
Sorry. Hi, Venu. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Yeah, this is my name is Satish Kumar. Actually, I have a 7+ experience in HR generalist profile.
Mhm.
Presently, I'm looking for enhanced skills in SAP SuccessFactors.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Satish. Satish Rai.
Good morning, Venu. My name
Good
is
morning.
Satish. Yeah, I'm working as a recruiter, like complete HR operations in Deloitte from last 4 years. Total, I have 8.5 years of experience, but
Mhm.
not moving ahead in career. So just wanted to learn something which can push my career a little bit higher.
Okay, so you're working as a recruiter in Deloitte.
Yeah,
So,
I'm into contingent workforce hiring. I use SFE field class as a tool, but I want to move into complete, because there
So,
are IJPs and things like that. So I
yeah,
think
yeah.
yeah.
So you should be helping all of us in getting into Deloitte.
Yeah,
Since
for
you're
regard,
already into recruiting.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
at least the aspirants who are looking out for a job in Deloitte. Yeah, good to know that, Satish. Thank you. Siva Jyoti.
Yeah, hi all. This is Pure Jyoti. I'm from Hyderabad. I have total experience of 15 years in the testing side. So it's all like a functional and automation. I have a knowledge on the people and some technical, things. So, but thing is, like, I don't want to move to the core part. So I'm just looking for any other field which is, far from the core. From the coding side also. So I mean, like while searching that, then I came to know like SAP SuccessFactors about this thing. So I just want to more get into this. What is this and how big useful? Like whether it perfectly match with my profile or not. So just I'm looking for that. So then I came
Okay.
to know about this.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all. Okay, then let's start our success factors demo. So good to know about you people. Good. There are people who are already working in success factors, maybe as an end user. Okay, there are people who are working in SAP who knows little bit of success factors because success factors is a product of SAP. Okay, and there are people who are into functional side wanting to move to success factors, which is a functional or the IT side of HR. Okay, and then we also have people who are, yeah, Soumya, I'm sorry if I have missed you. Soumya, do you want to introduce yourself? Soumya, Shravani, I haven't seen you. Okay.
Hi Venu, I'm Shravani this side, and I have 3 years of domestic IT recruitment, and I want to move into SAP SuccessFactors. So I joined this class.
Okay, thank you, Shravani. Soumya? Okay, so we have mix of people who are into IT, who are into non-IT, who are just fresh graduates from the college who are willing to learn success factors. Okay, so let's talk about success factors. Now, what is success factors? Can somebody tell me what is success factors? What do you know about success factors? What do we do in success factors? Anybody? It could be anything, whatever that you know about success
It
factors.
is a cloud platform for HR people to configure as per customer needs.
Okay, so it is a cloud computing HCM application for organizations who want to implement the HR application in the organization. Okay, so very good. What is cloud computing, or what is cloud-based HCM application? What do you mean by cloud-based? What is cloud?
Might be you can use the application through a web URL or web URL instead of
Exactly.
installing
So
it
let's
directly into
let's look at the architecture of a system of architecture of an application, and then we'll talk about the cloud computing. Okay. So if you want to use any application, what is the first thing that we need? We need some space, right, to install the application. Yes or no? Anything. Let's not talk about success factors. Let's first talk about the generic application. So let's say we are using, all of us are using mobiles, right? Now, if I want to use one application, it could be a social collaborative, or it could be a gaming application, or it could be any application. What is the first thing that we need? The first thing that we need is the space, whether we have the enough space to have that application installed in your system or not. Right? Second, once you have enough space, we should have a platform to go and bring that application to us. Now we have different platforms, Androids, you have iPhones, which is using a different platform. So you have different application, different products with different platforms. So second is your platform. Okay. Now, if you're using Android phones, you go to Play Stores. Otherwise, if you're using iPhones, you go to App Store to go and look for the application. And then third is you get that application and install in your system and start using that application, right? Now here, what we are doing is when we are downloading the application, that application is using the space in our systems. Is using the space in our systems. Now, few applications, they are very small, maybe 200 MB or 2 MB or 1 MB or maybe 1 GB also. We have different applications with different size. Depending on the type of the application that we want to use, we have these space allocations. Right. Now, if you look at the picture here, the same thing what we have discussed. Okay. So the first part of it, the space what we are talking, that is called the infrastructure. Okay. Now in the larger terms, we call them as a network, or we call them databases, or we call them servers, we call them block storages, and so on. And then second part of it is the platform. Okay. The identity, or how this database or where the database is run. And the third is your application, where we collaborate the content, we communicate each other, okay, and we monitor these things, the processes of the system. Okay. Now the cloud computing. Now all of these things, if you want to use an application, so you need the space, you need the platform, and you need the application. So if we are using all of this in your premises, we call it as an on-premise application. Now the example of an on-premise application is SAP. Now, if I want to use the SAP, what is the first thing that I need? I need the SAP GUI. I need to install SAP in my system. So when you install SAP, you'll get a SAP GUI. You need to click on SAP GUI, and then it asks you what client you want to use. Then it connects to the server and brings the data to you. Right. Now, your server must be somewhere in your organization, and you have connected to your server either the local area network or through VPN. Okay, whereas the cloud computing applications like SuccessFactors is a cloud-based HCM application. So cloud-based HCM applications or cloud-based application doesn't need any server. So where does the data get stored? Now, when you work for any organizations, when you work for bigger organizations like, if the organization has got 10,000 or 50,000 employees. So say we need a lot of space to have all of their data. We need to store all of that data in somewhere. Okay, and that storage, we do it in the remote servers. Okay, so the practice of using a network of remote servers hosted on internet. So this database or the server, what we are talking, this is hosted somewhere in the internet, and we don't see it physically. And we use these servers to store, manage, and process the data rather than a local server or a local computer. Again, another simple example, if I want to download a song or if I want to download a movie, I can go to a particular web URL, download that movie or download that file into your local system. So when you download that system, it is occupying, that file is occupying some space in your local system, right? If you are downloading it in your computer, somewhere your C drive or D drive, that file is getting saved. So it is utilizing the space in your system, right? Now there is another way of having the file in your systems. So you can log into your Google, open your Google Drive, keep your file into the Google Drive. Let's say within our mobiles, if you have the Google Drive installed, so you can place your files into the Google Drive. What happens when you place your files in Google Drive? Now that file is accessible from any corner of the world. If you have your file in your local system, let's say in your local mobile or in your local computer or laptop, you will only be access that file if you have your system with you. Tomorrow you are somewhere outside and you want to access your file, you'll not be able to access. I hear some background noise. If you're not talking, please be on mute. Manisha, please. Okay, so the same file, if you have it in your drive, you can access it even if you don't have your mobile or your computer with you and you're outside of the country also, you can still be able to access that file. How? Because the file what you have saved is in the drive which is in the cloud. So you are accessing it through internet. All that you need is internet. You log into your Google and then access that file. And the same thing, SuccessFactors application is also a cloud-based application where the data gets stored in the servers which are hosted remotely. So that we can access the data from any corner of the world. That's why now sitting here in India or sitting somewhere, some part of the country, we can access the data of any employee across the globe. Now, if my customer operates from 10 different countries, I can operate all of the data from here. Now, the employees are in different countries, US, UK, Japan, or Australia, New Zealand, but I still can access the data, can still access the application from anywhere. Because these servers are hosted on internet and we access the application through the web URL. So based on this, the cloud service models have been divided into three: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS is infrastructure as a service. There are some customers who only want to have the infrastructure. They don't want any application. They want to build their own application, but they want to use the infrastructure because infrastructure is very expensive. If I have to procure, 100 TB or 1000 TB of space, it is very expensive. So instead of purchasing, you can subscribe for the space using the infrastructure as a service. And then second is your platform as a service. So once you have your infrastructure, you want to build your application. On what platform you want to build? So there are open platforms where you can go subscribe and use the platforms and build your own application. And then third is software as a service. Now here, you don't have to worry about IAS and PAS. All of this comes together with software. So the example of software as a service is your SuccessFactors application or a Workday application, where the application is already developed. You just have to subscribe, start using that application, configure it as per your requirement, and start using that application. The platform as a service, examples can be your Google Apps Engine or a Force.com, where your Salesforce is built. IaaS, we have examples of Amazon Web Services, AWS, okay, VMware or Azure. So these are all examples of IaaS. Now, why should customers go with cloud computing? Why not on-premise? Why all of the customers are moving out from on-premise applications to cloud computing applications? What are the uses of it? The first and foremost would be your productivity anywhere. You can since you can access the application from any corner of the world, even if you're not in office, even if you're traveling, on a business or on a personal trip, you can still be able to access your application. If there are any approvals that needs to be done, let's say somebody has applied for a leave, somebody's performance appraisal is to be reviewed. So you can do all of this on fly. Productivity anywhere, you can access the application of anywhere. Offsite data storage, you're not storing the data. Now, if you're using on-premise application, you need to have a dedicated space for your server. First, you need to procure server, which are very expensive. You need to have a dedicated space to have your servers placed. And then you need your IT team to look after your servers. Now, that connectivity is to be done. So you need a separate team to look after your servers. But in case of cloud computing, the data is stored in the cloud and you don't need servers. You don't need separate IT team to look after your servers. That's no IT maintenance cost. Obviously, if something happens to your servers, you're responsible. Your IT team is responsible to fix it. Tomorrow, you want to, increase the size of the servers. Again, it's your responsibility. You need to purchase a new servers. Again, you need to have a dedicated space. The team should be connecting these servers. And if something happens to your servers, it is your responsibility. Whereas in cloud computing, the service provider will be looking after it. The applications are they are up and running 24/7. Okay, and this is always up. Lower cost of ownership, because you're not spending on your servers, because you don't have to dedicate some space to your servers. You don't have to have a separate team to look after your servers. Obviously, the amount that we spend on the cloud computing applications are much less when compared to on-premise applications. And every application that we use in our daily life needs some kind of upgrades. Now, when I say upgrades, a simple example of a WhatsApp application. All of you must be using WhatsApp application. Now, when WhatsApp was first introduced, what features we had in it? We only had little features like sending messages and receiving messages. Later, now they have upgraded the product. Now, today's application, we have many features. We can send even money. We can send some pictures. We can have a group calls. We can have a group chat. There are many features which are added after that. Now, how did they add all of this? They've added these features by upgrading the versions, by upgrading the applications. So similarly, any product that we use needs some kind of upgrades. It can be the improvements in the product, or it can be new functionalities incorporated into the application. So SuccessFactors also upgrades their product once in 6 months. Okay, twice in a year we upgrades, and these upgrades contains a lot of new features, new enhancements, new improvements, bug fixes. All of these are done through upgrades. Now coming to SuccessFactors. What is SuccessFactors? SuccessFactors is a cloud-based HCM application developed by SAP, which offers a comprehensive set of tools and functionalities to manage different aspects of HR processes. Like you can do various things in SuccessFactors application, starting from hiring the employees, hiring the candidates, maintaining of the employee data, and then doing the performance appraisals or the reviews, appraisals at the end of the year, compensation reviews at the end of the year, learnings which are required for the employees throughout their life cycle in the organization. The management might need different kinds of reports. They might need at the end of the month, they might need their attrition report, they might need the headcount report, payroll might need some information. So all of these are handled in SuccessFactors application. So we have different modules in SuccessFactors. And out of all of these modules, if you look at this picture, the core or the base is Employee Central, because we maintain all master data in Employee Central. Anything related to the employee. While hiring the employee, like what does a HR do in any organization? HR hires the employee. When they hire the employees, they take a lot of information from us. Now, let's say if I'm an employee selected for some organization, today is my join. So if I go to the organization, they'll ask me a lot of information, like what is your address or what are your education. Now they might need education copies, they might need the experience copies, they might need my address proofs, they might need my national ID proof. So all of this information, they store it in the system, they manage it in the system. And this data is stored in a module called Employee Central. So Employee Central will talk more about how the data is stored, what all information is required, what all can be customized. So all of that we'll talk. But the Employee Central simply is the maintenance of the master data. And then once you have your master data maintained in Employee Central, this data is required for the other modules, like performance. Now, if a manager has to review the employee's performance, manager should know what is that employee, what is the grade of that employee, what are the objectives of that employee, what are the developments that the employee needs. So all of this information is available in Employee Central. And this data is sent to performance module, or sent to learning module for trainings, sent to compensation for reviews, sent to succession to do the org audits, sent to analytics or the reporting to extract reports. And similarly, Employee Central can also pull the data from other modules. Data from other modules can be stored in Employee Central also. Okay, now what is Employee Central? Employee Central is used to maintain employee information of the employees. Now, the employee information can be broadly divided into two parts: personal information and employment information. In personal information, we store the information like name of the employee, gender of the employee, country of birth or the date of birth of the employee, gender, salutation, preferred language, nationality. So all of this information comes under personal information. Address details of the employee, experience details of the employee, contact information of the employee. So all of this is personal information which is owned by employee. And we also have org information for the employee, like what grade the employee is hired, what location the employee would be working in, what company the employee is in, what department the employee would be working in. So this is all the org information. Okay, and all of this is available in Employee Central. So what we would be learning in next 30-35 days is, so we have a course content which is split into 25 sessions. Now the complete Employee Central, it takes 25 sessions, 25 to 30 sessions to learn the each and every aspect of Employee Central. First, we'll start with the theoretical part. First 4 sessions would be theoretical part. Like we'll have to look at the roles and responsibilities of a SuccessFactors consultant. All of us, when we get into SuccessFactors, what would be our role? What would be what are our responsibilities? What will we be doing in the organization? We'll be doing the configuration. We'll be doing the support. We'll be doing the implementation. So how this process goes on? What is the structure of, or what is the architecture of SuccessFactors system? How do we do the certification? Is certification required to get into SuccessFactors? So what is Learning Hub? What is Partner Edge? What is help.sap? So we'll learn all of these things in the first 4 sessions, completely of theoretical base. You don't have to practice anything here. All that is you need to absorb what we teach. The first 4 sessions. And then from 5th session onwards, we'll be getting into SuccessFactors, the practical part of SuccessFactors. Every one of you will be given access to system where you can log in and do the practice. We'll be talking about different topics each day, and these are to be practiced. You will have to spend minimum of 1 hour. Other than this 1 hour of training, you should spend some time working on the system. You should make your hands dirty, practice a lot. Minimum, I'll say 1 hour, but it is up to you. If you want to spend more time, that's well and good. You want to get into SuccessFactors immediately, after 1 month, you spend on the system, spend time on the system. The system is open. It is not only the Employee Center. You can access anything in the system. So try and utilize and practice. All of the material will be provided. You don't have to worry about material. I'll tell you what material is important for you. If you have to take a printout of some documents, I'll share all of that information. Your system access is given. Your material is given, and will help you in clearing your certification. Will help you in clearing the certification. Will help you in building your resumes and preparing your resume and getting ready for your interviews. Okay, from the 5th day onwards, we have 2 different types of system in SuccessFactors. One of it is called provisioning, where we do very little of configuration. Around 5% of the entire configuration, we do it in the provisioning system. So I'll tell you what are those settings that we have to do in the provisioning. And then from there, we move to instance, or the actual system where we do the configuration. So we set up the data. First, we set up the data, configure the data, and we'll go and see using the data that we have maintained, how do we hire employees into the system and what all information we maintain while hiring the employees. Once we hire employees, we'll go and see bulk data maintenance. Now, if your customer says we operate from 100 different locations, so we need to create those 100 locations. Your customer says, I have now 10,000 positions in the organizations and I want to see those 10,000 positions in the system. So maintaining this data and manually would be very difficult task. So we have the option of uploading or maintaining the bulk data in the system through CSV files or the Excel files. You have all of the data in your Excel templates, upload it into the system. You can have 10,000 employees in one go. You can have 50,000 positions in one go. It takes some time. Now, 100 employees data, it gets uploaded in less than a minute. 1,000 employees, it may take some time, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Not even 2 to 3 minutes. Hardly, 1.5 minute it uploads. So we see how the bulk data is maintained. And then once we have some sample data available, we'll go and see the security part, which is very important. How do we keep our data secure? Can anybody log into the system? Can anybody access all of these configurations? Can anybody look at my salary? No. And all of this is controlled through RBP. We have a module called role-based permissions in Employee Central. Now, RBP is for all the modules of SuccessFactors. We do a lot of things in Employee Central too. So we control the access. Employees will have access to their own data. Now, if I am an employee, I can do anything with my data. When I say my data, my personal information. I can only view my salary details. I will not have access to edit my salary details. Otherwise, what I'll do, I'll go change my salary to 10 lakhs. If my salary says 1 lakh, I'll go and put one more zero and it becomes 10 lakhs. No, I will not have access to edit my salary. I can only see my salary. Who can edit? HRs can edit the data. If I'm a manager, apart from my own data, I can also look at my direct reports data. If I'm a HR manager, I'm also an employee, I'm also a manager, I'm also a HR. So I will have some additional access. I can go update any employee, I can hire employee, I can transfer employees, I can promote employees, I can terminate employees. So each employee, when they log into the system, depending on the role that is assigned to them, they will get to see the things. And they get to access the application depending on the permissions that are granted to them. So how do we restrict? How do we, maybe some employees see some fields and some other employees see some other fields. If we have a scenario like this, yes, we can manage. Now, all the employees of UK should see some data and all the employees of India should see some data. Yes, we can control that. And this is done through role-based permissions. And then while doing the transactions, you might need some approvals. Let's say if you are terminating an employee or you are promoting an employee or you are transferring the employee. If you need the approval process to be defined, I want to have 2 levels of approvals for transfers, 3 levels of approvals for promotions, 4 levels of approvals for termination. First, manager has to approve. Then it should go to department head. Then it should go to HRBP. Then it should go to finance people for approvals. We can configure all of these processes or the workflows in the system with different levels of approval. Now, these approvals can be for any process, not only for transfers or promotions. Even if employee changes something, employee changes address, I want HR to validate that before it gets updated in the system. Yes, we can do that using workflows. And apart from these, we do a lot of calculations, we do a lot of validations in the system, we auto-populate the data. And all of these are done through business rules. We have a concept called business rules where we implement the logic to perform different actions, like adding the pay components or the salary components, or to calculate the salary of the employee by adding some components, deducting some components, or multiplying some components. We can do all of that using business rules. I want to validate the data. So user updates some information like gender, user has put gender as male and then salutation as miss. I want system to stop that because that's not correct. I want system to validate when whatever data that is being keyed in, I want to validate and see if users are doing it in the right way. Now you can prompt the user saying that, no, you cannot save this record because you have the wrong data in this area. And this is done through logics that can be written in business rules. And we can customize the application. Every customer will have a different process which they follow, different needs in the system. So we can customize the application to some extent. Like SuccessFactors gives you some 100 fields in one block. Okay. Now, if a customer says, I don't want to use all of these 100 fields, I want to use only 20 fields, and I have my own fields, I have additional 20 fields to be configured. Yes, you enable only those 20 fields from the standard system and 20 other fields that your customer want to have. We can do that customization. We can add any portlet or a block, new or a custom block into the system. We can set up the themes. Now, different customers uses different themes. If you look at Pepsi, you go log into Pepsi, you'll see more of blue and white combination. You log into Coke portal, you'll see a different theme there. You will see the application, or you will see the web URL with different colors. When you log into, or when you access the Coke URL, you see red and white color. Now, some companies they use black, some companies they use green, some companies use picture in the background. So all of this can also be done in SuccessFactors application. The functionalities remains same, but the themes what we apply in system is different. So all of these things we'll be doing in our regular sessions. So this is the overview of what we'll be covering in next 20-25 sessions, or 35 to 40 days. Now, the course is designed to cover all of these things in 25 sessions, which goes on for 35 to 40 days. So we'll be having classes, 1 hour every day, Monday to Friday, 5 sessions a week, 5 into 5. So 5 into 5 weeks, 35 days. If you have any festivals like we have Independence Day and other festivals in between, so it goes to like 35 to 40 days. Okay, any questions? I take a pause here and see if you have any questions around the SuccessFactors Employee Central.
So Venu or Satish, I just have one question. Like once we are done with all the trainings and modules, so is there any I am an experienced guy. I can't go as a fresher, or there is nothing available for fresher if you try internally. So is
Yes.
any real-time project associated, or any way we can do it, so that at least we can get an idea on how to.
Yeah, frankly speaking, there are very few openings for freshers. So
Yeah.
there are companies who hires freshers also, but compared to the experience, we have very few openings for the freshers. Okay, and whatever that we do in the session, the complete 25 sessions what we are doing, or 20 practical sessions what we are doing, we do it as a project. Okay, we take a company. What is the company's requirement? So first we need to create a company. So let's take Reliance Industries Limited. Reliance Industries operates from different locations, and they have different businesses. So what are those businesses? So add all of those businesses. Each business contains some departments. So create all of those departments. And once you have all of this data set up, we go hire some employees, maybe 20 or 30 employees, each one of the employee in different departments. Okay, somebody would be the HR, somebody would be the department head, somebody would be the manager. So we do all of these things like a project. Now, once you complete, after 20 sessions, if you go and recap, you will find all of those dots, connected dots.
Okay.
Now, the same thing you want to do it as a project separately. Yes, you can do that. We'll give that information.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Venu,
Yes.
for this, do we have any specific domain knowledge, what is the process?
No domain knowledge is required. It is good if you have the HR knowledge, like what a HR does in the organization, and what all an employee does in the organization. If you know that, that's enough. There are no prerequisites that you should have SAP knowledge or you should have Oracle knowledge. No. Anybody can learn SuccessFactors.
Yeah, so actually, for my case, like I'm total have 15 years experience. So how can I get into this SAP as a role wise? Because I already experienced and I came into some certain level of compensation, right? So
Yeah.
generally,
So
what
definitely your past experience is always considered when you're hired. Okay. So maybe you're new to SuccessFactors. Again, I would recommend you use some of your experience as a SuccessFactors experience, at least minimum 2 to 3 years of experience.
Okay, is it like again in the starting role of the suppose if I
No,
get
it is now if you're going with 2 to 3 years of at least the fake experience of SAP, you're not being to as a fresher role.
okay, generally what type of roles will be there in this? Could you please give me just high level details?
So we have different roles, or only 2 different roles. Like we don't have many roles in SuccessFactors. Like in SAP, we have different roles, like a BAPer who customizes or who develops the system, functional consultant who gathers the requirement and configures the system. We have ESS, MSS consultant. We have basis consultant. So we have different roles in other areas. But in SuccessFactors, we only have 2 roles. One is the implementation consultant, and second is the support consultant. Implementation, you go get the requirements from customer, configure the system. And then support, once the implementation is completed, every SuccessFactors customer across the globe, the one good thing that we have in SuccessFactors is every customer who is using SuccessFactors should have a support team working with them for various reasons. I'll tell you those. Okay. So either you would be into implementation or support. There's nothing like which one is good, like implementation or support. And we never know when you're hired. Now they might say you're being hired as a support, and then after you're hired, they may place you in implementation. Before hiring, they might say that no, we are taking you as an implementation consultant, but no, once you're hired, there's a requirement for a support, they can put you in the support. So both the roles, you should have the equal knowledge. It's not nothing like something is something needs more experience or something. It's support needs less experience. No, it's not like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And we'll be starting off these sessions very soon. Next week, you can check with your representatives on the classes. And the timings for the classes are 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Yeah.
Actually, after 25 days, like how we guys like to do the practice session of the SAP SuccessFactors.
System access. You will be given system access as part of the course content. You will be given system access for 1 month or till the course completion. But again, this can be renewed, after the course completion as well. You can speak to your representative.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. That can be system access can be extended.
Fine. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Venu. This is Satish Kadale.
Yeah. Hi, Satish.
What about certification? Is this mandatory?
Certification, yes. To get into SuccessFactors, it is mandatory to have certification. I'll explain you the process of doing the certification, how to do certification, where to do the certification, all that information I'll provide. But yes, to answer your question, certification is mandatory, and this is the SAP certification. You all will be doing the SAP certification through training.sap.com portal.
Okay.
The first thing in your first thing that would be asked in your interviews is whether you have certification or not. I'll be covering the certification questions as well as and when we discuss some the areas of the configuration. I'll tell you what are the probable questions that can come in your interviews.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, this side Soumya.
Yes.
So I have this question, like I'm willing to join this course because there is an upcoming project in my organization on role redesigning in SuccessFactors, and I'm very much new to the SuccessFactor. Though I have done one project in SuccessFactor before, it was an overseas project where we have to do the pre-implementation review. So after that, I completed my certification as well. But now the challenge is, if I will join this course, will you be helping out me if I have any queries when the project comes into the picture?
Yeah, that can be done, but in the while on the course, we'll be only learning on the topics that we that we have in the course content. So once you
Okay.
are into implementation, if you have any clarifications that you need or you need some assistance in configuration, that will help you. That will do. Not
Okay.
as a course, not as a course content, but as a
Okay.
separate
Okay.
support.
So by which lecture we will be coming on to the role-based permission part? I think that is much of significance to me.
No, before, see, we have designed this course in such a way that each and every area of the Employee Central are covered, and RBP is very important. Okay. RBP
Okay.
would be somewhere around 11th or the 12th session here.
Okay.
Okay. Because you need to know how do we hire
Yes.
employees, how to add
Right.
employees, what are the objects that we have. You need to know about some configuration before getting into RBP. We cannot directly jump onto RBP.
Okay.
Okay. So while
Fine.
maintaining the data, you'll see different portlets of information of employee. Okay. So how do we
Okay.
control each of those fields or each of those blocks? That we see it here in RBP. So 16th
All,
session is your RBP.
all right. All right.
So Venu, out of the course question, just wanted to ask. Right now, I'm using my office laptop, no personal laptop I have. So, any specific prerequisite to have a laptop?
No specific. Only thing is you should have a proper internet. Any system can be used.
Even to
You don't have to
practice,
install anything here. It is
okay.
web URL. So if you are connected to internet, that's more than enough.
Even during the practice, also which you told that you will be getting accesses. So for that also, only internet connectivity would be fine.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank
Hi Venu, this is Shiva, and I do have a query regarding this EC Central and recruiting model. I mean, Employee Central is needed for recruiting module also.
No, recruiting is an independent module. You don't need Employee Central module, but still Employee Central is required for all the modules because we maintain the master data. Now, as a recruiter, let's say you are into recruiting,
Yes.
you should know what are the vacant positions. Okay. So how do we maintain the position data? You should know that. Okay. And all of this position data, we maintain it in EC. What positions are available for converting into a requisition or what information is maintained on the position? That information you should know. Okay, so you can learn recruiting module without having Employee Central also. See, you can learn any number of modules in SuccessFactors, but again, when you get into projects, you'd be working on only one project. In fact, even in one module like Employee Central, when you get into projects, you will see 2 or 3 consultants in Employee Central, 2 or 3 consultants in recruitment module, 1 or 2 in compensation, 1 or 2 in PMG, like that.
Okay, thank you.
Modules like onboarding 2.0, Employee Central payroll. For these modules, Employee Central is a prerequisite. You will not be allowed to do certification of onboarding 2.0 or ECP without Employee Central. But for recruiting, compensation, PMGM, you don't need Employee Central. Any other doubts, clarifications that you need? Even in the regular sessions, feel free to ask your questions. You can stop me, interrupt me, ask your questions. If required, I can take one additional session on any of the topics that you want to have. It's
Yeah,
not like that we have 24 sessions, we have to cover it in 24. Sometimes it can be extended for 30 sessions also.
Yeah, Venu, I have one question. Venu, actually, as you said, like we have a lot of, there are so many modules out there in the SAP SuccessFactors. Suppose if I learn the EC and if I learn the payroll with the plugin of this one, so suppose if the requirement is in some other module like LMS, so will they consider our profile to get into that, or is there any chance to convert from the payroll session to the LMS module or something like that, or is only specific to the requirement?
Usually when you're into projects, when you're into the organization, while hiring the candidates, they will only look for the specific skill set. They need Employee Central consultant. They only interview for Employee Central. They won't do it for learning. Okay. Now your resume will be filtered, and then only if you have Employee Central experience, they will be considering you. Okay. Second thing, once you get into the organizations, once you get into the implementation partners, depending on now you are a EC consultant, you are working for one of the project, and the project is completed. You have worked on EC module. The next project you have the vacancy in a learning module. You will be asked to go through the learning module. Okay, they'll be giving you system access where you can learn the internal modules of SuccessFactors and do your certification, and you'll be given opportunity to work on that project.
Okay.
Okay. What else? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, we'll stop it here. You can check with your representative. We'll be starting the regular sessions very soon, and the timing would be 7:30 a.m. in the morning. And I hope to see you all soon there. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Venu.
Thank you, Venu. Thank you.
Thank you, Venu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're going to discuss on the course content today, and then we'll start with the basics of SuccessFactors.
Did you email us the course content or?
No, the course content has not been emailed. I
Okay.
think some of you must have interacted with Krishna or Hari.
Oh, I didn't ask him for that.
Okay, then, yeah. Let me quickly walk you through the course content, what we'll be covering in next 25 sessions or next 35 to 40 days. Okay. So all of you will be given access to material recordings, everyday recordings, and then system access as well. Okay. So let me open the course content. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So first day, generally, we'd be talking about the roles and responsibilities of a SuccessFactors consultant. Okay. So after getting into SuccessFactors consultant role, what would be our responsibility? What would we be doing in the organizations? Okay, when you join any implementation partner, any organization. So what would be our responsibility as a consultant? Okay, so that we'll be discussing. And then system landscape. The first thing that we should know before we start any of the project is the system landscape. How many systems that we would be accessing, and what are those types of systems that we have in the SuccessFactors. Okay, so that we'll be covering in day 1. And day 2 will start with the release management. SuccessFactors releases or SuccessFactors upgrades the application once in 6 months. And as a consultant, it is our responsibility to know what are those new release features which have come in, because there might be some features which were not available earlier but are available now. Okay, in this system. So it could be the additional functionalities, or it could be the existing changes in the existing functionality. So every 6 months, SuccessFactors upgrades these, and we need to know, as a consultant, we need to know these things. We need to educate customer, and we should also get the knowledge of the release functionalities. And then we'll talk about certification and how to keep the certification active. It is very important to have certification in SuccessFactors. If you want to get into SuccessFactors, the first thing that your interviewer asks you is, the first question that you will be getting is whether you have the certification or not, and if that certification is active or not. So how do we do this certification? So, what is the URL to get into certification, from where we do the certification, how much does it cost to do certification? That will be talking in day 2. Day 3 will start with the Partner Edge portal, where I'll show you how to download the documents related to implementation. So for project related, for project related, how many documents we need and what are those documents? Now, how do we use each of those documents? Okay. So the implementation guide, configuration workbook, kickoff template. So all of these are available in Partner Edge portal. And we'll see how to access this portal, how to download these documents, and how do we use these documents. So day 4, we'll be covering all of the basics like implementation methodology, so the important URLs that we'll be using in the implementation. So all of this we'll be covering on day 4. So day 5, we start with the practical part. From day 5 onwards, everything would be in the system. So we start with the setting up the provisioning system. So we will go through the implementation sequence. SuccessFactors gives us the implementation sequence, the configuration guide, the steps to implement SuccessFactors application to customers. So we just follow those steps. Okay, as part of that implementation guide or implementation steps of sequence, so we start with the provisioning setup. There are 2 types of systems basically. One is the provisioning and the second is instance. We'll talk more about this provisioning and instance in the coming sessions. Okay, so we'll start with the provisioning setup, and day 5 will be talking everything about the provisioning, and day 6 we start with the instance setup. There is a concept of data models which is very, very important. You'll be getting some questions definitely in every interview that you face, or every implementation that you do, or even in your certification also, you get around 8 to 10 questions from this area. So data models are very important concept. So day 6 we'll be talking about all of the data models that are available in system and what are each of those data models used for. So how do we use these data models? And day 7, we'll start with the first data model. So day 6, we will just discuss what are the available data models and how do we use each of those data models. So that is discussed in day 6, and day 7, we'll start with the corporate data model for the first data model. So how to modify this data model, how to change, and how to use this in the projects, that we discuss in day 7. Day 8, there's one more data model called country specific corporate data model. And then we start setting up the objects in the system. So there are different kinds of objects. We'll discuss what are those kinds of objects and how does this each objects fit in for every implementation. And we'll start maintaining the data from day 9. So we'll have to first set up organization structure, job structure, and pay structure required for the organization. So that we'll be doing in session 9, 10, 11, and 12. Setting up of all of the objects. So how do we create a company? How do we create a department? How do we create a position? So how do we add the information into this, and how do we change the attributes or the screen fields? So those we'll be discussing till day 12. Day 13, we will look at hiring of an employee using all of the elements or objects that we have created, like company, business unit, division, department, job code, locations, pay component. So using all of these elements, we would be hiring an employee or adding an employee into the system. I'm sorry. So what are the different ways of hiring an employee? And what method do we use to add employee into the system? So what fields are mandatory? How to control this visibility of the fields, or how to control the attributes of the fields? That we'll see in day 13. So Now till day 13, we'd be doing everything, maintenance of everything manually, like creation of a company manual. So what fields are available, what fields are mandatory, what are each of those fields, and how do we create individual elements or each employee. From day 14 and day 15, we'll look at the bulk maintenance of data. If customer want to add 1,000 locations at a time, or 1,000 positions at a time, or 100 employees at a time. So how do we manage this? So bulk data can be maintained using different tools. So we'll see how to import employee data, import this foundation or the generic objects. And 16, now till day 15, we have some set of employees available with us. Okay, so using those employees, we'll see how to set up the security part of it. Now, when an employee logs into the system, anybody, let's say if I am working for one of the organization where SuccessFactors is being used as HR application. So when I log into the system, what can I see? What can I edit? What I cannot see? Okay, so those are controlled through permission. If I am an employee, I have a different view. If I am a manager, I'm also an employee. So I can do all of those things what employee is doing. Additionally, because I'm a manager, I have some direct reports reporting to me. I also do some actions for those employees. So those are controlled through permissions. If I'm a HR manager, so I'm also an employee, I'm also a manager with direct reports, and additionally, I'm also HR manager. So I should be able to hire employees. I should be able to terminate employees, transfer employees, promote employees, suspend employees. So all of these are additional activities which I do. So depending on the role that is tagged to that user, when I log in, I see different views. And this is controlled through permissions. So how do we add or how do we set up these permissions? That we see in day 16. Day 17, we will see how to create workflows. Workflows are nothing but approvals which can be configured for any process. It could be for personal information change. It could be change in the location or change in the manager or change in department or change in grade or change in salary. So whenever you do these actions, if you want approvals to be triggered, we must be taking some kind of approvals. So these approvals can be one level of approval, two levels of approval, three levels of approval, depending on the organization. So different customers uses different approval process. So maybe some customers may want to have one level of approval, which should go to manager, or two levels with manager and manager's manager, or three levels, the HR director or HR manager or the department head should be approving. So we can configure different workflows or different approvals in the system. So what all roles are recommended or can be configured in the system, that we see in day 18. Day 17. And then day 18, 19, 20, we will see how to validate the data, how to default the data on the screen, how to calculate or auto calculate few things, or auto generate the numbers. So all of this through logics. And these are configured through a concept called business rules. We'll see how to write a business rule to do different activities. It could be validate, it could be calculate, it could be defaulting some data or propagating some data, or writing a business rule for event reasons or workflow. So all of this we'll see till 2021 sessions. So 21 will execute the workflows. We'll execute and see how to approve the workflows, how to control the workflows. If I have to add an approver, remove an approver, modify an approver, or update an approver, or change the approver in a particular step. So all of those things we'll see in 21. 22 would be on the custom fields and custom portlets. SuccessFactors allows us to create custom fields in any of the portlet. Like within personal information, we have some set of fields: first name, last name, display name, gender, salutation, nationality. So these are all standard fields which are available for every customer. We can enable or disable these fields depending on customer's requirement. However, system also allows us to create some additional custom fields. If a customer feels that a particular field is not available or is not given by SuccessFactors, we can configure that field. So how to add the custom fields, how to customize the product. We can also add custom sections or custom portlets, the entire section. Like personal information is a block, job information is a block, comp information is a block where you put salaries, address information is a portlet where you add the address details of the employee. Like this system, SuccessFactors gives us many portlets. But if your customer feel that they want to have additional portlets, we can configure them. We can have up to 250 custom blocks in this in SuccessFactors application. No customer uses these many, but we have these many custom blocks which can be configured. You can add standard fields or you can add custom fields. You can build your own logic. All of these things in day 22. 23, we'll be talking about the position management. Again, very important concept. You will have 8 to 10 questions in certification from position management. So how do we create positions? What all positions can be created? So how these positions are used for hiring? What happens when you use a position, or what happens when you terminate an employee, or when you terminate a manager? What happens to that position? So what happens to all the direct reports who are reporting to that employee who we are terminating? So all these things we'll discuss in day 23. And day 24, we talk about the themes. Different customers want to have the system in different views. Like I want to have, let's say, a company called PepsiCo want to have their instance in blue and white combination. Similarly, a company called Coke want to see their instance in red and white combination. So different companies uses different themes. Okay. And different logos or different pictures. So we can have all of this in system using theme managers. We will be looking at reports, how to generate reports, how to create reports, how to schedule these reports in the system, how to migrate the data from one system to other system. So that is the transport center. And we'll see how to personalize the instance. So this completes the entire employee central topics. And day 25, additionally, we'll be having one more session which is not included here. That would be like interview questions. What questions would be asked in your interviews? So how do we prepare for interviews? And now this would be like a recap of all of the topics that we have discussed now. Important points or important questions that you would be getting either in your certifications or in interviews. That we'll be discussing in day 25. So every day we'll be having 1 hour of session, and we do it through Monday to Friday, 5 hours or 5 sessions in a week. Since we have these 25 sessions, so it goes on for 5 weeks, 5 into 7, 35 days. So additionally, if there are any holidays in between, so it goes on from 35 to 40 days. Again, 24 or 25 sessions are what we have planned, but again, sometimes it may happen that you want to have some additional session on a particular topic. Maybe you want to see some more scenarios, or maybe you have some doubts related to a particular topic and you want to have additional information. We can have that. So sometimes it gets extended to 26, 27, 28 sessions. Okay, so I'll take a pause and see if you have any doubts so far in the course content.
In this one, proxy topic also will be covered.
Yes, during the workflows session, we'll be looking at how do we proxy as any employee. So what all can be done through proxy? That would be discussing.
Okay, sir.
It's not as a separate topic, but it's part of your
Okay.
workflows or
In
any
how
other
many
areas.
ways we can log in proxy, that also will be covered, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
Sir, will you help us in resume preparation as well?
Yes, we'll be sharing you all these, some set of resumes where you can, take out some points and, take out some of the projects and add it into your resumes.
Okay.
This position management, like entire topic will be covered because position management mostly from the RCM module.
No, position management is not from RSM. Positions are always created in EC, and there are many things which are linked with the position. So when you're hiring an employee, you will be using a position. So system picks up all of the data from position and then adds that information to employee. So when you terminate an employee, termination is done in EC. When you terminate an employee, what happens to that position? Do you want to keep that position for next hire? Do you want to deactivate the position? What happens to the positions which are reporting to that position? So positions are basically created in EC, maintained in EC. But the recruitment starts from creating a requisition from a position. So recruiter will go and see what are the vacant positions available in EC, and those vacant positions are converted into requisitions. Requisition, when you create a requisitions, all of the data that we have created in position gets into requisition. And from there onwards, RCM or recruiter will do the hiring process, sourcing process. Again, till offer acceptance. Now, recruiter posts the requisition, converts the position into requisition, posts the requisitions internally, externally. Candidates apply on these requisitions, and then recruiters process the candidates even in different phases of interviews, and then the selected candidate would be offered. And once the candidate accepts the offer letter, that's when you push all of this information of the candidate to EC, and we hire the employee. We add that employee into the system in EC.
After accept the offer letter, it will go to onboarding module.
It depends on customer to customer. It is not mandatory that every customer has to use onboarding module. Okay. So if customers are using onboarding, then once candidate accepts the offer letter, the information will flow to onboarding, where candidate will be given a portal or URL to log in and fill certain information. So all of this information will be filled. On the day of hiring, again, we do the hiring in EC. So it depends. Like customers can use RCM, customers can use RCM and onboarding. Okay. There are customers who don't use RCM and onboarding modules. They directly add, they do all of this process offline and just add the information in EC.
Okay.
So that we'll see in adding employees. So how do we add employee and what are the ways of hiring an employee? What if customer is using RCM? What if customer is using RCM and onboarding? And what if customers are not using RCM and onboarding?
Okay.
Yeah. Any other doubts?
So workflows in the sense like let's say senior let's say one termination has to be approved by two managers. That is what the example you are telling, right? It's like let's say
Let me give you. Okay. Now, if I am transferring an employee, I cannot just go and move an employee from one location to other location. So I may have to take some approvals. Maybe I should inform the manager of that employee. Say there is an employee who is reporting to a manager. Every employee in the organization should be reporting to some other employee who is a manager. Okay, manager reports to another manager. We call it manager's manager. And then it goes on till the highest level, CEO or MD or whoever is there on the topmost position. Okay. Now, whenever a user or whenever a HR does some action, so it could be a simple example. Let's say I am applying a leave. Okay, I am an employee, I am applying a leave. Somebody has to approve my leave, right? Now, who is that somebody? Some organizations, they say, whenever employee applies for a leave, it should go to their manager. Manager has to approve, one level of approval. And then once manager approves, leave would be detected from employee's quota. Now, some organizations, what they do, now manager and HR should also approve. HR should also have information, so HR should also be approving the request. So once manager approves, the request goes to HR. HR can either accept or reject. Once HR accepts, again, leave would be detected from employees' quota. So these are approvals. Now these approvals, this is an example of just leave. So maybe I want to change my address. I'm going and changing my details. It could be my first name, last name, or address, or something I'm changing. So now before this data gets updated into the system, I want somebody to validate and see whether you are updating it correctly or not, whether you have attached no, relevant information or not. You're updating your address. So do you have that address proof? Okay. So somebody has to validate. So should go to HR, who would be validating the data and approving or rejecting. Maybe if some additional information is required, so HR would be taking that, and then when they receive, they would be approving the request. So this can be for any process. While termination also, when you're terminating an employee, or if employee has resigned, maybe it should go through some approvals. Manager has to approve, or department head has to approve, or employee must have taken some IT assets. Those IT assets are to be returned. So IT people has to go and submit all of those assets which are issued to the employee. Or maybe towards some other department, finance departments, they will have to go and see if there are any dues from employee. So they will be submitting some of the dues. So various departments or various persons would be involved in approving the request in workflows. Okay, so to see how to configure this, okay, and what all ways we can use, like what happens if somebody is not approving the request? What happens, when if it is to be escalated? If someone is not approving, I want this to be escalated. After how many days you want this to be escalated? But even before escalating, I want it system to send a reminder. So how do we send reminders to approvers? So these things we'll be doing in workflows. Okay.
Okay. So our EC module can exist without our recruitment and onboarding also, right? The landscape.
Yes. See, SuccessFactors, any of the modules can be implemented without dependency.
We'll also be discussing like how the process flows between all the three modules.
Yes. We will not be looking at other modules, recruiting, onboarding. So there is a lot of information. So you need to have the complete understanding of what all information that we fill in recruiting or onboarding to understand how the information or what information is flown to EC. So the basic understanding we'll be looking at.
So that integration and everything, but SuccessFactors will be taking in the back end. Like it does not require separate integration kind of thing, like how we
No,
do EC
for
and EC.
within the modules of SuccessFactors, like data flows from RCM to EC, EC to PMGM, or PMGM to EC. So all of this happens without any interface. That's inbuilt process.
No need of any special permissions or something. Just
No,
it will be available.
there is a job which we schedule in the provisioning that's called HRIS sync. I'll show you how to sync the data within the modules.
So once we get this, we as an EC consultant, we used to interact those other consultant and figure out what we have to do.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between this integration and like in the module you can show that HRIS sync. So what is the difference between both of them?
Integration or interface, no, we use different customers uses different interfaces. Okay, when do we need the interface or integration between the applications? If you want to transfer data from one application to other applications, your customer is using SuccessFactors for HR data, and time data is maintained in Kronos. Let's say they are using one application called Kronos, where your all of your time is captured whenever whenever you punch in your card. Okay, let's say you have logged into the organization. When you're logging into organization or when you start your day, so you punch in, and when you come out of the office, you punch out. So system will be tracking. There would be some system which would be tracking all of your in and outs. So how many days you have attended office, or how many days you have not attended, and how many leaves you have taken. No, how many, some organizations, they may follow these things very strictly. Like every day you should be in office for 8 hours, or you should be in office at least for 6 hours. Now weekly you should be covering 40 hours, minimum of 40 hours. So there would be different conditions. So all of these punch-ins and punch-outs would be recorded in a time system. So it can be different systems. It can be anything. Okay. So all of this data gets stored in your time system. And this time system you want to maintain, or you want to get this data to SuccessFactors application. So, or maybe employees would be applying leaves in SuccessFactors. So the leaves are to flow to the time system as well. So system should know how many days employee is there and how many days employee has taken a leave. Okay. So all of these punch-ins and punch-outs should be required for your payroll processing. So the payroll processing happens in a different application. Maybe some payroll, ADP payroll, or some payroll system, or SAP HCM. So SuccessFactors sends the employee data. Who is that employee? When did the employee join? How many days employees are present? So some data has come from Kronos or time system. And what is this employee's salary? So all of this information is available in EC or in SuccessFactors. This data would be sent to your payroll system. So different systems are involved for different processes. So these systems are connected through an interface. Again, it can be any interface. Some uses Dell Boomi, some uses CPI Cloud Platform Integration, some uses HANA Cloud Integration, HCI. So different customers uses different interface tools to integrate these systems. Okay, there we will be using interface. Whereas the data within the SuccessFactors, we have different modules like Employee Central, where you maintain all of the master data. You have performance management, where you do the appraisals, compensation module, where you do the salary revisions and bonus calculations, recruiting, where you source the candidate. So different modules are used for different processes. And recruiter should have the information about EC. So how does system know who is a recruiter, who is a hiring manager? Okay, so that is maintained in EC. And the data flows from EC to RCM. The position data goes to RCM. Candidate information is sent back to EC for hiring. Some information is sent to appraisals. So while doing the appraisals, we should know who is that candidate, what information, who is that employee, what are the roles of that employee, what designation the employee is in, okay, what are the goals of that employee or objectives of the employee, and what is the final rating. That final rating is, again, should be pushed back to EC. So different modules need different information from different portlets, different modules. Okay, that information will be transferred or will be fetched from one module to the other module. So this, we do it through sync. Within SuccessFactors, if the data is to be moved, then we do it through HRI sync.
Okay, so PMS and recruitment, everything, if that is in SuccessFactors, so we can fetch the data.
Yes.
Okay.
If customers are using performance management or recruiting management in a different application, If your customer says, I don't want to use SuccessFactors, I have my own application for recruiting, or I have my own application for performance management. Then how does that system get the data from SuccessFactors? That is through interface.
Okay, but this synchronization part can be, taken the session, sir. How we can
Yes.
sync the data within the
Yes.
modules success factors.
Yes.
You can take a session on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we are using the out of the SuccessFactors systems, so from our end, we will be providing what are the field data, whatever that has to be flown out, and what are the fields that has to be populated in SuccessFactors. That will be only our part, right? So the rest of the part
Yes.
will be taken by the integration
Taken
engineer.
by the integration team. Yes.
Okay. And there
Okay.
will be another engineer from the Kronos side.
Yes.
Okay.
Like how you are SuccessFactors expert or SuccessFactors consultant, you will also have Kronos or HCM HCM consultant.
Okay. So that questionnaire or something will be coming from them, or else we should provide them that, okay, this is the data that has to flow out, or this is the data they have to send it.
You know about SuccessFactors, right? So they will be asking, so what information is required by that system? So they will be asking you, and you'll have to provide. And you want to have some data coming from Kronos system, you should tell what information is required.
So we will also be knowing what all the SuccessFactors is compatible with the outside technologies, right? Platforms.
It
That
can be integrated with any application. There is no such restriction or limitation that it can be only integrated or it can be only connected with certain applications.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with the first topic, the roles and responsibilities of a SuccessFactors consultant. So after getting into SuccessFactors, so what will we be doing in the organizations? Okay. So there are different types of projects here. Implementation and support. These are the two types of project that we have. Meaning configuring the system as per customer's requirement. Your customer doesn't have. Now, who is a customer? Let's talk about these terms. Who is a customer? The end user who is going to use SuccessFactors application. They are called customers. Let's say I am working for PepsiCo and my company is using SuccessFactors for employees' data. Now, as an employee, if I have to apply a leave, I will log into SuccessFactors application. As an employee, if I have to look at my payslip or download my payslip or download my appraisal, I can go to SuccessFactors application because now my company is using SuccessFactors for all the HR information. So the end user is called a customer. Then implementation partner. Who configures or who set up the system for customers? It is the implementation partner. Not everybody can go and implement SuccessFactors for customer. Tomorrow, let's say you have learned SuccessFactors and no, you cannot say that I'll go and implement for a customer. No, you'll not be allowed to do the implementation. Firstly, you need to be associated or you need to be partnered with SAP. SuccessFactors is a product of SAP. And SAP cannot implement SuccessFactors for every customer across the globe. There are thousands of customers. And SAP cannot implement for all of them. So SAP has given license or partnered with some organizations. They're called implementation partners, like Deloitte, Wipro, IBM, Accenture, Capgemini. Cognizant. So all of these are the implementation partner. They have license to implement SuccessFactors to customers. I cannot say no, why? Because I know SuccessFactors, I cannot say that I'll go and implement. No, SAP doesn't allow you to do that. And same as your franchisee. If I have to, let's say I want to have a McDonald's burger. So where can I get it? I'll only get it from the nearest franchisee. I need to see where is the nearest outlet. I cannot get that in any of the supermarkets or no roadside shops. Because somebody has taken a franchisee, only they are allowed to sell their products. Similarly, SuccessFactors, since it is a product of SAP, SAP would be giving license to implement for customers. And those partners who are associated with SAP are called implementation partners. And these implementation partners would be hiring the consultants. So all of us would be hired by implementation partner. And we are consultants who would be working on projects. It's a Deloitte is an implementation partner. Deloitte has a project called HSBC. So HSBC is a customer for Deloitte. And from Deloitte, we will be working on HSBC project. Once that project is completed, we'll move to a different project. Maybe PepsiCo will move to a next project called PepsiCo. PepsiCo is another customer. Coke is another customer. HDFC is another customer. Some matrix companies are. So different customers are tied up with different implementation partners. Okay. Clear about this topic? What these terms? Customer, implementation partner, and consultant. Okay. So we do two types of projects for any customer. One is the implementation. So implementation, your customer doesn't have SuccessFactors application with them. So we will understand the requirement of your customer and we implement SuccessFactors. SuccessFactors contains thousands of functionalities, hundreds of features. Not every feature is required by every customer. And different customers follow different processes. And this is set up in system by consultants. And this is called the implementation. We go sit with customer, understand the requirements of the customer, configure the system, test the system, and hand it over to customer. That is your implementation. And one good thing about SuccessFactors is every customer who is using SuccessFactors should have a support team working with them. That means if a customer HSBC is using SuccessFactors, then they should also have a support team to support them. Support, we do it for different activities. We do incident management in support. Incident management means customer is facing some issue while doing some activity. Whom should they reach out to? They should be reaching out to support team through a ticketing tool. They create an incident, that they create a ticket saying that we are facing this issue while doing this, while hiring employee, while transferring employee, or while maintaining the data. And we are getting this error. Please fix it. So we'll be getting that incident. We'll have to log in, see, analyze, fix the issue. That is done through incident management. How much time you have taken to fix that issue? Now, is it a configuration issue? Is it a knowledge gap? Or is it a new requirement? We'll analyze that. We fix it and customer will again start using that. Next is change management. You have done implementation. We have done the configuration as per customer requirement. But after using a particular functionality for 6 months or 1 year, customer has now a new requirement. They want to add a field into one of the portlet, one of the block, or they want to change the process. Earlier, they were following 3 steps of approval for a particular action, but now they want to have only 2 levels or they want to have 4 levels. So what is that additional step or what is the step that we have to delete? So that comes as a change. Customer will ask you to change the configuration in the system. So we'll have to analyze and see how much time does it require to change that in the system. You need to give the effort estimation. Okay, once customer agrees, we'll go and do that change. We configure it, we test it, and we deploy it to customer. So that is the change management. And then we also have release management. SuccessFactors upgrades the product every 6 months. Every 6 months, we have this release and we do. Now somebody has to go see what are those new functionalities which has come in that release. Okay, how does it impact the system? Okay, is there any additional configuration that we have to do? So all of these things will be doing in release management. We should be educating the customer that these are the new functionalities, the screen is changed, or there's a new feature which is available in the system which is useful. We need to educate or we need to communicate all of this with the customer. So these are the responsibilities of a consultant in support and in implementation. Any doubts here? Roles and responsibilities. Now, we don't have different roles like a technical consultant. In general, SAP has got different roles. A functional consultant who configures the system, a technical consultant who develops or who customizes the product, a workflow consultant who configures the workflows, the ESS consultant who takes care of the employee self-service portals, a basis consultant or a security consultant or a GRC consultant who takes care of security. Okay, so we have these many roles in SAP HCM or SAP. But in SuccessFactors, we don't have these many roles. We only have one role called functional consultant who would be doing all of this. As a consultant, we configure the system, we customize the system, we set up the workflows, we set up the security. So all of these are done by functional consultant. So the consultant, different customers or different implementation partners may use different terminology like associate consultant or a junior consultant, consultant or a lead consultant or a senior consultant. Okay, so these are different terms that we use. But everybody does the same job. Okay.
Just for this release, every 6 months EC will get updated. Huh? So
Not
do
only EC, every module of SuccessFactors gets updated.
okay. So in that case, do we get notified by anything like these are the changes we have got, or we only have to explore ourselves?
Now, there is a portal called community.successfactors.com. I'll be telling you about the release management, how to know what features have come in, how to see those features, okay, how to document them. That we'll be discussing in tomorrow's session. But yes,
Yeah.
as a consultant, you should go check what are those new release functionalities, whether they are applicable for your customer or not. And then you will have to test, document it, and present it to customer.
Okay.
That's our responsibility in release management.
As a functional consultant, we need to have certification.
Yes. Everybody who wants or every aspirant who want to get into SuccessFactors should have certification.
Okay.
Okay. Any other doubts in roles and responsibilities? Okay. Next topic is on the types of system. There are two types of system. One is called the provisioning, and second is called the instance. Provisioning and instance. Provisioning is like a back-end system, and provisioning can only be accessed by certified consultants. Only to log into provisioning, you need your certification. Only certified consultants can log into provisioning system. We'll see how to log into provisioning or who gives the provisioning, that we'll see. But only the certified consultant can log into provisioning. So what do we do in provisioning? We do the 5% of 5 to 10% of configuration in provisioning system. It's not actually configuration, it is enabling or disabling the services. Within Employee Central, we have many areas. We have many features like global assignment. This is required only for customers who operate from different countries. Not required for every customer. If a customer operates only from one country, they don't need global assignment. If they want to use global assignment, we'll have to enable it first in provisioning. Rest of the configuration, we do it in instance, like 90 to 95% of the configuration, we do it in instance. And this doesn't require any certification. But to do that configuration, first you need to enable that service from provisioning, which requires certification to log into provisioning. Okay, global assignment is one example. So we have concurrent employment, multiple employments within the organization, contingent workforce, about contractor data. What do you want to use it for your workflows, business rules or XML? So different functionalities, we enable it in provisioning, and to access provisioning system, we need certification. Though we only do 5% to 10% of the entire configuration, this is required to set up before you go and do the configuration instance. Without enabling a functionality in provisioning, you will not see that those features in instance. The entire configuration is done in instance. A global assignment, you enable it in, or time management, your leave management is enabled in provisioning. Once you enable the leave management, you come back to instance and do the configuration. What is the type of the leaves that are required? How many leaves are to be granted? What should be the starting date? What should be the end date? Is there any workflow to be configured? Can it apply? Can a user apply on the weekends or the weekdays? So all of this configuration, we do it in the instance. But to do that configuration, we need to set up these things in provisioning. So these are the two systems that we have. And all of you will be given access to instance, but not provisioning. We'll see how or what are the features that we have to enable in provisioning. Then everybody will be given access to instance. You can log in and do the configuration. Okay. Clear on types of system?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will stop it here for today since it is a first day. I'm not taking too much of topics. In tomorrow's session, we'll talk about the landscape. We'll talk about certification. We'll talk about more about the configuration. Okay.
Sir, this document can be shared, no? Like to the
Yes.
morning.
Now this document will be shared at the end of the training, not every day.
Okay.
Okay. So you can make a habit of noting down the important points that you feel that is required for you. You can have for running notes as well. So we'll be talking about different navigation. So how do we add an employee? So we'll have to go to a particular place. Okay. So what is that navigation? So how do we create a company? So you'll have to go to a particular place to create a company or to create a position. So those things I'll be explaining you here. I'll be sharing you this Excel sheet after the end of the training. Okay. But before that, if you want to have, or you want to make some, notes, you can do that. I'll be
And what
sharing you,
about the
anyhow, I'll be sharing you the material which contains all of this information.
okay, and every day by end of the day you will share, or how it will be?
You mean the recording?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, recording
The
will
session.
be shared. Yeah, recording will be shared. After this session, maybe after 1 or 2 hours, you'll be getting the recording as well. So I don't recommend you to just watch the recording every day. When you practice, I don't want you to just open your recording and just see what I am doing and then do the same thing. No, I want you to remember, recollect what we have discussed in the class and do it in the system. It is okay if you spend some additional time on the system. So that's how you learn. Okay, recordings are this can be used as a reference. Maybe some topics which you want to listen to it again, you can do that maybe once in a while. But don't make a habit of just opening the recording, just see what I am doing and do that in the system. No, don't do that.
Oh,
So this provisioning and our instance that we'll be seeing the examples, right? Once we going
Yeah,
forward, like what
you
we
will be
do.
getting access to instance, but we'll see the provisioning as well.
So both systems will be different, sir.
Both systems are different. That's what I said, right? Two types
Okay.
of system.
Okay. So this provisioning only during the initial stage of the project only we will do. Later that we'll not do much on provisioning, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
sir, even for this, testing purpose also for provisioning system, license is required. Like anyone is given, or how we
Sorry,
can.
can you come again?
For provisioning,
Hmm.
we require certification. You said, no, sir, but that is
Hmm.
the starting one which we have to perform 5 to 10%. No?
Hmm.
So, like, as we are under training, so how that can be possible? Like, are you providing any credentials to perform for that activity? I'm asking.
Now, what did I say? Who can access provisioning?
Sorry, sir.
What did I say? Who can access provisioning system?
Certified consultant.
So, are you certified?
No.
Then you will not get access to provisioning. But there are some prerequisites for accessing the provisioning system. The first and foremost would be your certification. Okay. And second part of it is you should be associated with one implementation partner. So what did we discuss about implementation partner? The authorized organizations who can implement success factors for consultants are implementation partner. Now, as a consultant, if you are a certified consultant, because you are a certified consultant, you will not get provisioning access. No, you should be associated with implementation partner. Once you are associated with partner, you will be getting provisioning access. Otherwise, everybody will go, learn success factors, get certified in success factors, and they'll say, no, I'll work for a customer. No, you cannot do that. So firstly, you should have certification. Second, you should be associated with implementation partner. Only then you will get the provisioning access. See, we are not setting up the new system here. So the demo system, what we use, this is already configured. SuccessFactors gives the system access, okay, where all of these are already available in provisioning. For a new customer who doesn't have SuccessFactors system, there will be enabling all of these features. But the system what you are going to use, now this is pre-configured. All of the configuration exists, but we do it as a project. I'll show you what are to be enabled in the provisioning system. And in the instance when you do the configuration, we do it for our own customer, for our own company. Let's say we'll create one company. We'll create some departments. We'll hire employees. We'll configure some business rules. So all of this we'll be doing in instance. But enabling, so why we are able to do all of these things? Because all of these are enabled in the provisioning system.
Okay, got it, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So thank you all.
Sir,
Well,
once I want to talk with you sir, personally after this class. Can I?
yeah, you may ask your representative to arrange a call to speak in person.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So what did we discuss yesterday? A quick recap. We discussed about roles and responsibilities of a SuccessFactors consultant. And then we have also discussed about the types of systems that we have in SuccessFactors. Okay. The two types of systems, provisioning and instance. Okay. Now, today we'll look at the landscape. How many of you know what is a landscape? This is not specific to SuccessFactors, but it is the term that we use in software implementations.
Architecture of any system.
Architecture of any system. Okay. So how many systems we want to have
Two
for
systems.
any implementation? Okay. I'm not asking you a question. I'm just saying. Okay. So it is not actually the two systems. SuccessFactors recommends to have three systems. Three-tier architecture. We call it three-tier architecture. Okay. So first one is dev, quality, or test. You can either call as quality or test, and then production system. These are the three systems what SuccessFactors recommends for every customer. When you take license of SuccessFactors, then you'll be getting these three instances, these three systems: dev, quality, and production. Development will be logged in by consultants, only consultants. Okay, you're a consultant who is working on the implementation. So you will start your developments. You'll start your configuration in development system. Okay, and you will do your unit testing. Once the configuration is completed, you will do the unit testing, meaning you will only check whether the functionalities that you have configured are working fine or not, whether they are working fine or not. That you'll be doing in development system. Now you can do many R&D also here. Let's say your client has given some scenarios, and then you don't know whether it works in the system or not. You can try different combinations, different configurations. Okay, but whatever configuration that has worked in development system, those you will be moving to quality system. And here you will find consultants logging into the system. You can see consultants logging into the system, and along with the consultant, you will also see business users logging into the system for testing. So the configuration what you have done in development, all of the configuration may not be moved, but the configuration which is working as expected are to be moved to quality system, and the customer, some from the customer end will be testing that. So business users are generally users who are responsible for giving you the requirement and getting the project done. So your customer would be logging in here. Some business users, like it can be HR people or it can be project team, who would be logging in, looking at the system, testing the system. They will hire some employees, they'll add some employees, they'll transfer, they'll initiate termination, they'll initiate promotion, they'll initiate data changes, they'll apply leaves, they'll go look at the employee data. So they'll test all of these things in quality. And then Once they give the confirmation, we'll move that configuration to production system. And the testing what your customer does in quality is called UAT, user acceptance testing. They'll have to give their acceptance. Yes, all of these configurations are working fine and we are good to move the configuration to production system. So that's when we move the configuration from quality to production system. In production, you cannot have any test data. You'll not do any kind of testing in production because production contain all live data, the actual data. If you have 10,000 employees in the organization, all of the 10,000 employee data is maintained in production system. You may have here some dummy data. You may have hired some dummy employees here. You have done some hirings, you have done some actions you have tested. But you will not do any of those things in production system. Anything that you want to test, you will always use quality system here. So this is the 3-tier architecture what SuccessFactors recommends. But again, some customers may request for some additional systems. Let's say if they want to have pre-production as one additional system. Yes, they'll have to pay for it and they'll be given one additional system, which is pre-production. What is generally a pre-production? Pre-production is a copy of production system. You copy all data from production and copy to pre-production and keep it so that whenever you want to test something, analyze something, do some analysis, you can go log into pre-production and do that because we have that similar data as production in pre-production. Only for replications, you will be using pre-production system. Just giving you an example, but your customer may ask for additional systems also. Let's say they want to have test system separately and quality system separately. Okay. Quality system separately and test system separately. Yes, we can have. Now, one is used for customers testing and one is used for consultants testing. Okay, you can also have different systems. The minimum of 3 is what SuccessFactor recommends and maximum can be any number. Now, I want to have one for projects. I want to do all my projects here. Yes, you can do. So it is up to the customer how many they want to have. Okay. Now, all of these systems that we configure, the data gets stored in the database. Okay. Or in the servers. And these servers are called data centers. These are called here data centers. And we have different data centers across the globe. These data centers are the location based or region based. For US, we have a data center. For UK, we have a different data center. We have Middle East, we have a different data center. Australia, we have a different data. So you have different data centers in each region. And these data centers are named as DC10, DC12, DC55, DC67, DC57, DC4, DC8. So these are numbered like this. Let's say we have a data center DC10. Now, if you have a particular data center, all of the customers of that region will have their data lying in this data center. Now, let's say I have 10 different customers in US. Have customer 0. We have these customers. All of them are in US. So all of their data will lie in the data center. I'm just giving an example. If data center 10 is for US, so all of this data, all of the customers' data would be in DC10. So everybody will have dev, quality, and production system. So all the customers will have dev, quality, and production system. So some additional, someone will have pre-production, some will have test. Again, this is optional. Okay, everybody will have dev, quality, and production. Let me cover this. Let's say only these have pre-production. This customer has got test. This customer has got both pre-production and test. Okay, let's say we have projects. Okay, this customer has got projects. Okay, this customer has got test and projects. Okay, this customer has got pre-production, test and projects. So it is up to the customers. Okay, clear? Now, the data centers are, now, this is common for everyone. Okay, so this customer has got only 3 systems. This customer has got only 3, but this customer has got 4 here, okay, 6 here, 5 here, 4 here. So it is up to the customer. Again, the data center is split into, always the data centers are split into 2 parts, preview and production. DC is split into preview and production. That means data center preview and data center production. So every data center. If I have DC10, DC10 will have DC10 preview and DC10 production. Okay, and what is this DC preview and DC production? So all of these systems, okay, should be routing to at least one of these data centers. Okay, so data production systems of all the customers across the globe, irrespective of data center, would be in data center production or production data center. Okay, DC prod or prod DC, whatever it is. Every customer's production system would always be in production data center. One of it should be in preview and one should be in production. Let's say this one is in preview data center. Then this would be in prod data center. This is in prod data center. Minimum 1 instance out of 3 systems, minimum 1 would be in preview and production will always be in production. So one of it will be in preview. Usually the development would be in preview, quality in production. Okay, and these can be in any systems. Let's say this is in preview data center. This is in prod data center. This is in preview data center. Okay, so all of these are in preview. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, rest of them in production data center. Again, not every customer's pre-production is in preview data center. Now, if some customer want to have their pre-production in prod data center, so we can also have it here. Let's say here, pre-production. Instead of here, they'll have here. Instead of preview data center, they'll have it in production data center. Okay, same thing. Test might be here. Some customer want to have their test in preview data center. So they will see it here. Okay, is this concept clear?
How is this concept linked to a provision and
Now,
instance?
see, for provisioning, you will see provisioning for every system. Like dev will have a provisioning. Dev will have both provisioning
Okay, so you do the changes
and
in there and then push
instance.
to.
Yes. And quality will have both provisioning and instance. Production will have both provisioning and instance. Every system will have this
Okay.
provisioning and instances.
That's great. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah. Now, why should we have two data centers? Okay. It is fine that every customer's data should go and sit in a data center or the servers, and we call them data centers. Now, why should it go and sit in? Why should we have a split of production data center and the previous data center? This is because of the release management. SuccessFactors upgrades their systems once in 6 months. Update the systems once in 6 months, twice in a year. And we call them first half of the year and second half of the year. First half generally happens between April, May. And second half happens October, November. Okay. And when the release happens, release always happens in preview data center. First, it always happens in preview data center and then in production data center. So once the release upgrades or the release or the upgrades happens in preview data center, you will have a time gap of 1 month to see those changes in production data center. So if the release has updated or upgrades were happened in preview data center in the month of April, the production data center will be updated the month of May. Same thing here, October and November. And usually, always these releases happens in Friday midnights and Saturday early hours of that particular region, because the Friday midnight of India is not Friday midnight of US, right? So these two are two different regions. Now, today in India is Friday morning, but for US it is Friday evening. So release will happen for Indian customers in the data center of this particular region, okay, on Friday midnights. For everybody, it is the same, Friday midnight or Saturday early hours. So time gap would be between Saturday and Sunday. They will be doing the release upgrades. So once the release happens in the preview data center, we have to log in and see what are the new functionalities, new upgrades that SAP has provided. We need to document them. What is the impact on the existing configuration? How does our customer get impacted with the release? So do we need to do any additional configuration in the system? So all of these things, we will be doing it in the preview data center. So whichever systems are in preview, like this is in preview, all of this gets updated in the month of October for 2H release. All of these will be updated. Okay. And then we need to present this to customer, explaining them what are those new release features and what are the changes that they can see after the production release. Before it moves to production system, we'll have to explain all of these things. Now, sometimes it may happen that because of the new release, the existing functionality may have been impacted. Some changes have happened and there is an impact on the system. And we don't want to have this. So you can reach out to SAP saying that because of this new release feature, this particular screen is impacted. So SAP would be recommending, if you have to change any configuration, they'll recommend you to do that. Or if it is really an issue with the production, with the upgrade, they will stop that release feature moving into production system. That's why you will see some of the release features not for production release, not ready for production release. They are available in preview, but they will not migrate them to production systems. Because production, you have the real-time data. The actual data is there in the production system. Now, you can do anything here in the preview systems, test systems, but your production systems are always in production data center. So the release happens always in production data center after 1 month of the upgrade in preview. Okay. Clear on the concept of release management?
Sir, what is the criteria that we are deciding which instance has to sit on preview or production?
There's no criteria as such. Production will always be in production. You don't have any choice there.
Yeah, that is fine.
Okay.
Rest of the
And
two.
the preview or production, now you can say that you can ask you can ask SAP that I don't want my development in preview, I want my development in production data center. That's fine. It's up to the customer. Usual setup is preview and production. So one of it should be in preview, because when the release happens, you'll have to test, right? So if you are having only 3 systems, production is already always in production data center. So forget about production. So one of it should be in preview, either dev or quality. You want your preview to be the quality system? Yes, you can go with that.
Sir, preview and production live one. We can go for one instance like production one. Like production, we can opt for preview as well. Later
Production system, you
Yeah.
don't have any choice. It should always be in, or it will always be in production data center only.
So
Even
we
if you
cannot,
ask your SAP to have the production system in preview, they will not give that. Your production system will always be in production data center. And this is usual setup, but if you want to have your development in production data center and quality in preview data center, that can be configured. You decide what your system, or which data center your system should be in.
Okay, and one more thing, sir. Here in previous, what we call this data center, preview data center, production data center, after 3 instances, 3 systems, they'll go for whether they want to have pre-production or separate of test, no? So like in this column, preview data center, pre-production and in production, pre-production also there. So like there is no specific like we can only go with pre-production like that in the
No, pre-production also same as your dev and quality. Now, some customers may want to have pre-production in production data center. Some customers may want to have it in preview data center. It can be anything. These can be in anything. Now, it is not fixed now. That's why I have added test here. I've added pre-production here. That means this customer want to have pre-production in production data center, and this customer want to have pre-production in preview data center. Same thing with the test. Here it is production data center. Here it is preview data center.
Okay.
It is up to the customer whether they want to have their system in preview data center or production data centers. Other than production, any other system can be in any data center. Preview data center or prod data center. Okay. Yeah. Now let's look at.
Is the
Right.
release management where we need to check the changes?
Yeah, coming to that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So what do we see in release, or what SuccessFactors provides us in release? So in release features, we have automatically on. There are some features which are called automatically on. Earlier, we were calling them universal changes. Second type of release features that we have are customer configured, or we call them, earlier we were calling them admin opt-ins. Calling them admin opt-ins. Okay. And then we have provisioning opt-ins. Or we call them contact enablement partner. Or we also have contact product support. Okay. So these are the different features that we see in every release. Okay. So the first one is automatically on or universal features. Automatically on features are applicable for all the customers. Every customer of SuccessFactors will see these changes in their systems. These are automatically on. You don't have to do any configuration to see these changes. By default, after a particular date, they will, they gets updated in the system, and you'll start seeing those in the system. The second type is customer configured. As the name says, we have to configure, we need to do some configuration to see these changes. It is up to the customer whether they want to go with that particular feature or not. If one customer doesn't want to have this feature, yes, we can ignore that. You want to use it, you need to do some configuration. Here, customer configured. Universal features, customers doesn't have a choice. After that day, after the release, you will always see those changes in the system. Customer configured, we have some configuration steps to be followed to see those changes. Third is contact enablement partner. Again, you need to contact enablement partner. You need to contact either SAP or your implementation partner to enable those. Because only the consultants can do those changes. That means these are related to provisioning. Who can log into provisioning? Only the consultants with certification. So they can only do it for you. Last is product support. You'll find enablement partner and contact product support very minimum features, 1 or 2, or maybe you don't see also in each release. Contact product support, you need to reach out to SAP if there is any cost involved in it. No, there are certain features for which you may have to pay the additional amount. So recently, to give you an example, recently SuccessFactors has started some features with AI related. Some features in AI related, artificial intelligence, for which you may have to pay the additional license to use it. So you need to reach out to them for that. Those are contact product support. Some features are to be enabled in provisioning system. You need to reach out to implementation partner. Some features are to be configured separately. Either this can be done by consultant, or if admin is aware of it, they can also do it. And some features are enabled by default after the release. They are called automatically on. Okay, clear on release features? And all of this information would be available in a portal called community.successfactors.com. These are available in a portal called community.successfactors.com. This is the URL. Okay. You go to community.successfactors.com, scroll down and look for product related, product release and roadmap information. Product release and roadmap information. Let me copy this. Okay. So firstly, we have the release schedule, the current release, what has happened or what is going to happen in production is 2H 2024. We call them as 1H and 2H. 1H 2024, 2H 2024, 1H 2025, 2H 2025. So this goes on like this. Now currently we are in the version of 2H 2024 and you see the dates here, second half 2024, preview on October 14th and production on November 15th to 17th. Production in 15th to 7th. That means this weekend SuccessFactors is going to update the production data centers. The preview release has already happened on October 14th. Preview release happened on 14th of October and this weekend SuccessFactors would be updating the production systems. Okay. Usually happens in weekends, Saturday early hours to Sunday. Somewhere between Saturday to Sunday, they'll be updating the release features in data centers. Okay. So how do we know what are those release features? Just before a week of the preview release, SuccessFactors would be updating all of the information here in this portal. Okay. And it is available under What's New Viewer 2H available now. Everything you need to know about the new features and functions. These are available here in What's New Viewer 2H. Okay, and you click on it because the release is for all the modules of SuccessFactors. Okay, now if you click on it, it takes you to help.sap where you can see all of the release features. There are around 338 release features. This release, we have 338 release feature in total. Total of 338 entries. Now these 338 entries are in different modules. I want to see only EC related features. So you go choose the product as Employee Central. Within Employee Central, you have 79 entries. Within EC also, we have different areas of EC. Some of them are linked with performance, some of them are linked with compensation, some of them are linked with learning. So you can go and choose module and feature also. Okay. Let's say I want to choose candidate experience. This is not directly in EC, but linked with RC. Okay. There are some things which are in EC. So you go select them. Only if you want to see EC related. Learning, localization, mobile applications can also be part of EC, process or automation. Okay, user experience. So all of these are related to EC. So you see 40 number of features. Again, within this also you can go and further filter. Okay, let's say there are 40 new release features within EC. Enablement, you will find the customer configured automatically on contact customer engagement executive or contact account manager. Okay, so these are the three. Now, if I go just select this, you will only see one or two. You see only one here. Okay, most of them will be either automatically on or customer configured. So these are those 40 release features what we see them after release. Each of the release feature, you will find the additional information. So you need to click on see more to see that, and it opens up this in okay. Now if you see, this is about this release feature. So all of these release features, these are all related to Employee Central. You'll find them here. You see 2H 2024, you'll see all of them here. 2H 2024, platform related, Employee Central related. So these are all Employee Central related features. You can download this into a PDF. This contains all of the information. Let's say I go to the first feature, access company structure overview using deep link. So what is this? They will give you the details of that release feature. Okay, wherever you need the screenshots in some release feature, they also give the screenshots like how it looks now, what is changed. Okay, how it looks now. This is how it looks now. And how was it looking earlier? How it looked before. Okay, this is an example. If there are any configuration steps that you have to do to see that, you will also find the configuration requirements. They'll give you the navigation. So you need to go to Admin Center, click on Company System Logo Settings, enable centralized services, and then do this. So this is the configuration requirement. So that means this is a customer configured. Here, now if it is automatically on, now this is enabled by default for every customer. So it is set as automatically on. Okay, now some features you will see them as customer configured here, automatically on. This is also automatically on. Let me show you. There's one thing, some in customer configured also. You see here, this is customer configured. And what are the steps that we need to do? These are those configuration steps. You need to follow this. Okay, clear? And when you log into instance, so all of you will be given instance. When you log into instance, you can see which version you're in. Okay, if I go here, on the login page, you will see show version information. Okay, I think it is automatically logged in. You go here, click on show version information. You click on show version information. There's a profile icon here, profile picture. Click on it and say show version information. And you will see the release as 2405. This is the production data center environment. So that's why we see the release as 2405. 2405 is 24 is a year, 2024. 05 is the month of release. That means it is still in 1H 2024. After Monday, if you log in here and see, it will show up as 2411. Because this is a production data center environment, this instance will get updated this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And you will see that change. You'll see the change here as 2411 instead of 2405. Now, if I go check for any of these release features, I will not find it because these are only in preview systems, not in production data center. Okay, clear?
Whenever there is a release, there will be downtime those 2 days. Rather
it
than
would
that,
be.
any downtime like SAP. Usually, sometimes we have downtime, no? So SuccessFactors does have downtime.
Yeah, downtime during the release period, they will be communicating that to every customer and implementation partner. So you are a customer, you will be getting an email saying that your systems would be upgraded on so and so date from so and so time to so and so time.
Okay.
So that's why usually it is done in the weekends.
Okay. Rather than that, he doesn't have anything downtime.
No, we don't generally. There are some updates which happens sometimes, like if there is an immediate fix that is to be done. Okay, so we have done the release. We are let's say the release happened in the month of October, November, and we are somewhere in January or February. So we found some issue in the system. Okay, let's say we found some issue. This is maybe related to release or maybe not related to release also. This is as this is in the system, but this was not identified earlier. Okay, so only specific to some scenarios, some customers have encountered this. So when customer reaches out to SAP, SAP will analyze and see what is that. Okay, if customer has, if the implementation partner has not configured correctly, or if there is any change in the configuration which can fix this, they'll analyze it. If it is a bug in the system, okay, which only SAP can do it, and this can be done immediately. So they will be updating the patch. Okay, so that will not have any downtime. So they'll just update it. Maybe that particular functionality during that time, if you're using it, it may not work, but immediately, it gets updated immediately.
Okay.
Okay. So those patches will be updated. So those, even the patch notification will also be given to customers.
As a consultant, we can give any suggestion to SAP.
Yes.
How we need to
Yes, you can.
represent.
Yeah, you can go log into community portal and you can give some suggestions. Okay. Now that needs to be approved or recommended by other customers also. Okay. So when you propose something that is to be suggested, that is to be recommended by other customers and other consultants also.
Okay.
Okay.
First intimation
Yes.
we go to
Yeah.
the customer, then afterwards we need to drop a
Yeah.
mail to the SAP team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Now all that you have recommended or suggested cannot be implemented, cannot be updated in the system. Okay. May or may not be required for other customers, or SAP feels that this is not required at the moment, or they have that functionality in the pipeline. Could be anything.
So if suppose any function is not working properly, immediately if you write a mail to the SAP team, how many days they will respond? Is there any time?
It depends on, we'll be discussing that in the coming sessions. We have something called Launchpad where you go and create a ticket. Okay. So it depends upon the issue that you are facing, whether the issue is related to the configuration or it is a knowledge gap. No. Okay. You have configured it, you have not configured it correctly. Okay. Or maybe it could be the data issue because the data was not maintained correctly.
Okay, sir.
Sir, here you said based on the recommendations they'll consider mostly in how much percentage they'll consider how many queries we have got. So any percentage will be there?
No percentage.
So where they can see that how many
See,
people
the
have.
regular supports, we'll be discussing that. We have that topic, Launchpad topic, we'll discuss that.
Okay, this also.
Release features, yes. Release features, if you find, again, same thing, you need to log into Launchpad and create the ticket with them.
Mhm. So for this ticketing also a required certification, sir?
No, certification is not required to create a ticket.
Okay.
Okay. There are 25 entries. Okay. So these are the release features. Now these release features can also be downloaded into Excel here. Okay. So these are features and this can be downloaded. And if you want to go through each of them in detail, you will find the information here in What's New Viewer, and this can be downloaded in PDF format. For some of the release features, SuccessFactors also gives you just a short video, 1 or less than a minute video. So wherever you see demo, if I scroll down, you see here, there is a demo. So if you see demo maintain, that means SuccessFactors has recorded this. Okay. I click on it. It opens up that video. Video will not have any sound, but it will just show you what is that release feature and what is the change that has come in this release. Okay. So this is the login page. Now they are searching for one user. When they click on the user, okay, it shows up the people profile in this way. See here. It is showing up the people profile in this way. Okay. So we have personal information, biographical address. No, we have separately. These are the sections. On the left hand side, you see sections. When they click on job data, when they click on compensation, it is showing up some information, compensation information. Okay. So you click on the left hand side sections, the right hand side, it shows up the information. Again, you click on that right hand side section, it opens up the information, complete details of it. Okay, so that's the new release feature. Just come here. Okay, so some information about it. So how to navigate, where to navigate, okay, how do we see that change? That is recorded. Same thing, if I go in the system now, okay, this is my home page. I search for one user. I'm searching for one user called John. So these are all employees that are in system. I go click on one of the user. Now it is showing me differently. It is asking me show spotlight and click on full profile. It will take me to the profile page of the employee where I don't see it vertically. Instead I see all of them horizontally. I see here, you see personal information. I click on personal information. I see all subsections here. I see employment, see all of them here. I'll have to go to the job, really, they are going to job information, right? This one is job information. It shows me in this way. Whereas here, it is showing up differently, right? When they log in, you go to people profile of the employee, it shows up vertically, not horizontally. So personal detail, job detail, compensation. So all of these are showing up in vertically. Whereas for me, it is showing horizontally. And this is a admin opt-in. You can choose whether you want to be like this, you want to have it in this way, or you want to move to the new page which shows up this way. Okay, that's here one of the release features. Clear? Clear on release management? So once the release happens, okay, first thing that you do is you come here, communitysuccessfactors.com, download those release features. Okay, go download this document, the PDF document of it for additional information. Go through these release features, find out what are applicable for customer. Now, there might be some features which are not applicable for your customer. So you don't have to concentrate on them. But the release features which are applicable for your customer, first you need to note down all of those features. And then document them. What is each of those release feature about? How the screen was looking earlier, before release and after release. How do we get before release screenshot? You'll have to log into production data center instance. You'll see now, if I am logging in here, it is showing me the 1H page, 1H data. But if you log into preview now, you will see 2H data. So one screenshot, the updated screenshot you'll be taking from preview, and for the data, how it looks, how it looked earlier, you can take screenshot from the production data center environment. Okay, so document all of this. Generally, it is in PowerPoint. So you need to present it to the customer saying that after Monday, okay, when you log into system in Monday, in production system, you will see all of these changes. This page will be changed to this way, okay, or this functionality will change to this. You will have to explain that to your customer. Any doubts here?
For any changes, we have a demo session.
Initially, we'll have a demo. Like if you are an implementation partner, you will be given a demo system where you can use that demo system for giving demos to customer. But once you have implemented something for your customer, you can always demo it in your preview systems, your quality system, or your development system.
Okay.
Okay. Once the release happens, you get to automatically on. You don't have to do anything. You'll have to document all of them. You should tell your customer that these are automatically on. After Monday, you will see, after Monday, November 17th, you will see all of these changes. Okay. And customer configured, you need to take your customer's consent, whether they want to go with that release feature or not, whether they want to use that functionality or not. If they say that, yes, this is good to use feature, go and enable it, you'll have to go do that configuration. If they feel that this is not required for us, you can just leave it.
Okay. In interview, they generally ask what are the
Yes.
changes that you have
Yes.
notified.
Now, generally during the release time, okay, after now, if you're taking your interviews in any time in next month or in 1 month, they'll ask you what are the new, did you work on the release features? What are some of the new release features that have come?
Okay. Present scenarios or previously what was done in 2021-22? Is there
No,
anything?
not, they will not ask those ones. The recent ones, what are the recent release features that they have?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, after a certain period of time, let's say next year, if you log into the system, all of these features, if for a customer, if it is implemented now, if we are implementing SuccessFactors now. Now, they don't know what were the release features that have come in 21, 22, 23, or even 24, 24, one is 2024 also, because that has come with a standard application for them. Now, once your customer starts using the application, anything new that comes in, okay, that is to be notified. Maybe, see, all of this, now if I go to the home page, 4 years back or 3 years back when I log in to SuccessFactors, this was not the page, home page, what it was showing up. It was showing up differently. In one of the release, they have changed the UI of the home page, the login page. Okay.
Sir, automatically on features, if at all we don't like anything or it is not compatible to our any of the systems, we can't revert them, right? We should
No, you
go with
cannot.
that. We
Now,
should
these
go.
release features, these are not reversible.
Okay.
Mainly the automatically on. Customer
Okay.
configured, if you don't want, you can just switch back. You undo the configuration, you will not see that feature. But automatically on, you cannot do anything. You'll have to use it.
Sir,
Okay.
that link can you paste in the chat for now? Means by the time we get the recordings, just for
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah. So there are some features. There are some features related to the deprecation. And this here. There are some features which are deprecated. Deprecated means if any feature, sorry. Yeah. I'll give you an example of deprecation. Okay. Let's say we are using some reports. We are using now a report called ad hoc reports. These are generally table reports. There is a new reporting tool called story reports. In one of the release, SuccessFactors upgraded the story reports. It was available in the system. Okay. Now also we see both ad hoc reports and story reports, but story reports are not enabled by all customers. This was a admin opt-in. Because all these days we were using ad hoc reports. Okay, we have not enabled story reports. Story reports is a new reporting tool which is introduced by SuccessFactors with many features. Okay, there's a lot that we can do in story reports. You can have colorful dashboards created. You can have different kinds of reports. You can do calculations. You do a lot in story reports. Ad hoc reports are not providing that much information. Okay. Now, story reports, in the recent releases, they've come with story. Go with story reports or not. Okay. The plan for SuccessFactors is by 2H 2025, every customer should be in story reports. Till then, they'll give the option whether you want to use it or not. You want to use it, go opt it, do the configuration, and then start using story reports. Or customer says, no, I don't want to use it now. I still want to continue with the ad hoc reports. But after 2H 2025, now everybody will have to move it to story reports. Now this feature will become a universal feature. Everybody will see story reports. Now whether immediately they will not be they will be removing ad hoc reports. What they'll do, they will stop any kind of maintenance activities, or first they will stop any developments. They will not do any kind of developments. You will not see any new release features on ad hoc reports because they are going to stop that ad hoc reports. They have developed story reports. Any new developments that comes in, that would be in story reports, not in ad hoc. In one release, they will stop the developments. You cannot ask for the changes. And in one release, they'll stop maintenance. They will not support. And one release, you will not see ad hoc reports, you will only see story reports. So that is deprecation. So some features, if which are going to be, they will give you that information here. But that this feature is going to deprecate. You see, deprecation of trigger matrix relationship field. So if I go click on this one, you'll see it as end of development or end of maintenance and so on. Feature dates are subject to change. End of development is November 15, 2024. That means with this release, they will stop the development. They will stop the maintenance also. And by May 16th, it would be deleted. What are this deprecation details? We are deprecating the option of triggering the matrix positions to job relationship synchronization. This option is user-based decision, and removing it ensures data consistency and reduces complexity. Synchronization now happens according to your position matrix. So additional resources, you'll find that any additional information that you want, you will find that here. You can go to configuration guide and see that. Okay. Change history, October 2024, they have mentioned this initial publication. Okay. So this is the example of deprecation.
So by the time that field or service is going to get deprecate, if at all anything is config linked to us, we have to, change and
Yes.
keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So each release they'll specify that next release we are going to remove this, or they'll communicate that well in advance. Maybe 2 releases. Let's say they're going to stop developments in one release. They're going to stop the maintenance in one release. They're going to make it universal. That means you're using something better has come with a different screen, but you still want to continue with the old screen. Okay, it will allow you to continue with the old screen, but after certain time, you will not be able to see that old screen at all, and you will not see the option of old screen also. To give you an example, because this will change, I think, this release. If I go to one page called Manage Permission Roles. Okay, so there is a page called Manage Permission Roles. Now, this page is the latest page. This is the latest screen. Now you have option here, switch back to legacy role-based permissions. If I click on it, it takes me to the old page. Earlier, before last release, when I opened the page, it was showing me the default page. This page was the default page. Okay. Even before that, in 2H 2023, I didn't had this option of switching the option to new page because new page doesn't exist. So I could see only this page. Now it is loading. So this page, what it is loading. So this was the actual page what we were using from long time. In one of the releases, 1H or 2H 2023, they have created a new page. Okay. And users are given option to switch to new page. Okay, so by default, it was opening the old page and you can switch to a new page in one release. The next release, what they did, by default, it opens up the new page, but you can switch to old page. Now, currently, we are in a stage where it opens up the new page and we can switch to old page. In next release, they will remove this option of switching back to old page because that is no longer supported. Okay, so that's one example. Okay, so we'll stop it here. This is the old page. We'll stop it here for today and we'll continue on Monday with some more topics on the theory. Okay, so have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. We'll connect back on Monday.
Thank
So
you.
Monday, Tuesday, we'll try to complete all of the theoretical part. We'll be completing. Most probably either on Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll be starting off the practical part. We'll be getting into success factors, actual success factors. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.